Back live with you tonight on In Focus, and thanks for staying on. The community of Toekomsrus in Randfontein continues to seek answers concerning housing allocations following a mega project there that is still not yet complete. They want to know when they might see themselves officially owning their homes. The occupiers illegally invaded the 400 homes earlier this year before construction was completed. They say it was unfair that the homes were going to be allocated to people outside of the area. Let's take you now live to Toekomsrus Community Hall, where Newzroom Afrika's Katleho Sekhotho is there for us. Katleho, good to have you. Thank you very much for your time. Can you take us through what has been happening there this evening? Who is in attendance and who is the community addressing their concerns to?
Certainly, Thabo, a very good evening. We are here in Randfontein at the Toekomsrus Community Hall. And just a short while ago, the community was here in their numbers. They've packed up now and left. But they were discussing with the mayor as well as a number of MMCs issues which plague the Rand West City municipality, and not just Toekomsrus, but the broader area as it relates to municipal services, as it relates to, issues regarding schools, clinics, and just basic access to services and such. So it's been an engagement between where community members had the opportunity to take the microphone and pose questions to the Office of the Executive Mayor as well as the MMCs about the issues that they're facing. But one of the pertinent issues regarding Toekomsrus, or one of the issues that has really come to the fore in the past few months, is that at Extension 9, there's been an invasion of homes by residents of Toekomsrus who invaded those homes, and they felt that they did so rightfully because those houses had been built, but they weren't properly allocated, or at least the community felt that they weren't being communicated with in terms of the allocation of the housing. But I want to bring into the conversation here the Mayor of Rand West City, just to speak to us about the issues that were raised here this evening, but as well as the housing allocation in Extension 9. Mayor, thank you for your time. Let's just start with that issue of the housing allocation. What engagements have you had with the MEC of Human Settlements? Where is the issue here?
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers. Look, we had an engagement with the MEC for Human Settlement, especially in relation to the land invasion and the housing invasion in Extension 9, like you correctly will have stated. What we'll have picked up is that there are quite a number of issues that we need to follow up, and we have agreed with the MEC together with the member responsible for the Mayoral Committee for Housing that we need to have a follow-up session with the MEC, so that we must have an appreciation of how the allocation was done. Because remember, the development currently as it stands, it's not the development done by the municipality, but however it's done by the province. So there is an agreement that very soon we are going to have a follow-up meeting with the MEC so that we can have an appreciation of what happened during the allocation. There are quite a number of issues that will have been raised regarding the allocation and the allegations that will have been raised. At the moment, we are not at liberty to then disclose whether the invasion was correct or incorrect. However, we'll allow the discussions to ensue, and then from there on, if there are any issues that will need law enforcement agencies to come on board, we'll then request them to do so. However, we are not promoting land invasion, but the cries of our people must be heard. And we're making that commitment to our residents that we'll listen to them. They have requested that when we have engaged with the MEC and we come back to them, we must call a meeting again, a public meeting like the one that we've just had, so that we can then give them a report back and a feedback on our discussions with the MEC. But we'll also take the MEC to Extension 9 so that he has an appreciation of the challenges that we are faced with as a municipality, because there is quite a number of issues, including issues related to water and sanitation, to the recently built houses that jointly as a municipality and the provincial government, we need to look into them.
Yes. May, it's no secret that the residents have said they point towards corruption. They told us earlier on this week that keys were handed out from the back of a boot. and that's how people were able to then claim a house. People literally ran with their belongings, and it was a free-for-all where people just grabbed what they could. I mean, it's a very devastating situation for the residents in the sense that it was a scurry. Are there allegations of corruption, and what can be done about that?
Yes, we have heard about these allegations, and to be honest, it's not for the very first time that we hear about them. Not only in Extension 9, in quite a number of our mega projects, where there's an allegation of one official from the Department of Human Settlement, and we are currently preparing a letter to the MEC so that matter can be investigated, because there are allegations, like you are correctly saying it. Yes. They will need a thorough investigation so that we get to the bottom of this issue. But I will have made a commitment to the people of Toekomsrus that if there will be any official, especially from municipality, who's involved in this corruption allegations, I'll be the first one to open a case against that person. Whether that person is an official or a councillor, I'll be the first one to open a case.
And Mayor, just another one, in terms of the people who've already invaded those homes, feeling that they are entitled to do so, what can be done to mitigate that? Obviously, it would be difficult to take people out of the houses. Some of the houses are not complete. As you say, water and sanitation hasn't been concluded. Electricity connection hasn't been concluded there. How do you mitigate when people are living there already?
Like I've said, let's allow the discussion to continue with the MEC. Look, we have an appreciation that our people are looking for houses. Majority of the people that are there, they were here in the public meeting with us. They will have raised their own issues in relation to with how long they've waited for them to be allocated houses. And what is shocking is that we have a situation where a person who has just recently applied for a house will have been allocated, when there are people that goes as back as 1999 who have not yet been allocated. And like I've said, let's allow that discussion to continue with the MEC, and immediately after we are done with that particular process, we'll come to the community of Toekomsrus, especially the community of Extension 9, to give them a report back. But one thing that I can guarantee you, we have a government that is caring, a government that will make sure that it takes care of its own people, and we are not going to allow our people to go on the streets. When their matter is genuine, and I'm hopeful that in our discussion with the MEC, he will take into account that human factor that our people will have raised with us, so that we don't send our people into the streets. We give them alternate accommodation so that at least they can be able to have some kind of settlement.
Thank you for your time, Mayor.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Thabo, you heard it there from the Mayor of Rand West City saying discussions are ongoing with the Human Settlements MEC, Lebogang Maile, in dealing with that issue at Extension 9 here in Toekomsrus, where people illegally invaded homes, but now it's about mitigating the situation as it is.
So what do we know about that situation right now? Are those people still occupying those unfinished homes?
Certainly, Thabo, many people are still living there. Some people have actually claimed homes that were not complete. And, I mean, we've spoken to a few residents who are actually taking it upon themselves to complete some of those homes that were not done. The construction was not finished. But obviously, the bigger issue is that there aren't water. There's not some of the homes, many of them, don't have running water coming from the taps inside the homes. So people have to collect, water from buckets, from pipes outside, as well as that there's no electricity connections. We see the poles in the area, but the connections haven't been made. So people are living there, but certainly struggling because services aren't there, and in some cases the homes have just not been completed.
Right, Katleho, Sekhotho, much appreciated. Thank you tonight. As Katleho live for us there in Randfontein, in Toekomsrus, to be precise, where that community had gathered earlier on.